What's up everyone, it's Adam from Victm back with a brand new lifeguarding video. In today's video, I'm gonna be walking through step by step how to save an active drowning victim as a lifeguard. You're the lifeguard on duty, someone needs your help, they're flailing in the water and they can't support themselves. So in this video, I'm gonna walk through it to help you guys on the job. Now, before I get into this, if you guys are new to the channel, I make a bunch of lifeguarding content about passing the course, passing the pre-test, finding a job, being a good lifeguard, basically everything you need to know. So definitely consider subscribing and liking the video if you're new to the channel. Now, the thing about active drowning victims is that these victims are gonna be panicking and they're gonna be desperate to hold on to something because they're in water where they're sinking, they can't support themselves, and they're basically just trying to get every last breath of air they can before they submerge. So you gotta approach the situation making sure that you know what you're doing, because you don't want them to grab onto you and then you put both of you in danger. So like I just said, they're gonna be panicking, they're gonna be desperate, and they could grab onto you. So you wanna make sure that they're not grabbing onto you, they're grabbing onto the rescue tube, which is the floating device that's supporting you and the victim. So whatever type of technique, which I'll explain later, that you do, just make sure you're not putting yourself in a position where you could get you in a dangerous situation as well. Now, the first thing that you need to do when there's an active drowning victim is to recognize that there's an active drowning victim. So when you're scanning a pool, when you're scanning your zone, there's gonna be a lot of swimmers, a lot of movement, a lot of noise. And it's very key that you pick up on these key things that will reveal to you that this victim needs your help. They're pretty self-explanatory and they're pretty obvious, but some situations it's gonna be silent and there's gonna be a lot going on where if you're not picking up on this, you're gonna miss it, and that's not good. So the first thing that's gonna reveal it right away is gonna be the fact that there's no forward motion. When someone is an active drowning victim, they're not able to swim and move forward. They're stuck in one spot and it feels like they're in quicksand, they can't move, and they're just gonna be flailing your arms. So that's the second thing, flailing your arms. They're not gonna be moving, they're gonna be flailing their arms, and they're gonna be tilting their head back. Why? Because they're trying to keep their head above the water while their whole bottom half of their body is panicking. So it's gonna look like those three things: no forward movement, flailing arms, head is gonna be tilted back, and their head's gonna be barely above the water. Now, this is my favorite way to identify any type of victim besides passive victims, is their facial expression. You will know based off their facial expression that this person needs your help, because they'll look at you with a worried face. And there's occasions where the victim's not even gonna say anything, like they're just gonna go become submerged without yelling, without calling for help, just because they're so in shock and they just can't verbalize what they're feeling. So look at their face. Even though they're silently struggling, it doesn't mean they don't need your help. So those are the keys to recognize that this victim is an active drowning victim. Now, the next step is your approach in the way that you close the space and you initiate the save. Make sure that when you're doing this, that number one, the first thing you have to do is alert the lifeguards around you and alert the pool that you're making a save. So you have to blow the whistle. Why is this important? Because if there's another lifeguard in a zone next to you, when you go in to make the save, hearing the whistle, them seeing you go in, they know based off of the emergency action plan, based off of just general lifeguarding procedure, that they are gonna cover your zone in addition. So they're gonna most likely stand up and watch the whole half of the pool or the whole pool while you go in and make the save to make sure that everyone in your space, including yourself, is okay. After you blow the whistle, make sure that you have the rescue tube in the proper position. The rope's not tangled on you, it's not wrapped around your foot, it's not tangled to the lifeguarding chair, it's around your chest, around your shoulder, and it's secure. Make sure there's no one around you when you jump into the water and you use the right entry. You don't want to jump onto someone, you don't want to step on someone, but during all of this, you want to keep the focus and the vision on the victim, and you want to pick the most appropriate path to the victim. So if you are in, I'm just going to draw a box right here. If the victim is right here, right? And let's say you are lifeguarding here, this is your station, the most direct route will be, pretend they're not super close to the wall, the most direct route would be like this, right? Or if they're over here, you could technically close the space and then jump in like there. So just make sure you're going from A to B and not going the long way or swimming over here, then swimming after the victim. So just make sure you're going directly towards the victim to reduce the amount of time it takes for you to get there so you can support them. Now there's two main rescues that you're gonna do for an active drowning victim. The first one is the frontal approach, where you take the rescue tube and you tuck it underneath them. When doing this, make sure that it's just the rescue tube that you're tucking underneath them, not your arm, not your body. You're not hugging them because they're gonna grab onto you right away, and you want them to grab the rescue tube and not you. So make sure that your arms are fully extended, you tuck it underneath, and you're communicating to them saying grab onto the rescue tube. They're gonna be panicked, but your voice, your control, slow down the situation, calm the situation with your words. Say, hey, I'm a lifeguard, I'm here to help. Grab onto the rescue tube, and they will 99% of the time. If you're approaching from a different angle, so they're flailing their arms and their back is towards you, you can also hook their arms like this and have the rescue tube support you both. Now this is honestly safer because when you're hooking their arms, you're supporting them and they can't grab onto you either. So this is technically the more safe option. You'll also have kind of like the back float working in your favor with the rescue tube, and it's a very easy way to bring them to safety. Now, when you're bringing the victim to safety, step number 3, you wanna be reassuring the victim. You don't wanna be overloading them with questions. You just wanna be reassuring them, saying that you got them, asking them if they're all right, saying, hey, we're gonna get you out of here, we're gonna get you some water, we're gonna get you a towel, stuff like that. Just try to diffuse the situation. Don't overwhelm them with comments or questions. Very simple. Now, when you're moving to safety, similar to the way that you enter the water, you wanna go straight A to B without any unnecessary routes. You wanna go the most direct route. Very similar situation for when you have the victim in your possession. You don't wanna go across the pool or across the far side of the pool. You wanna go to the nearest steps, the nearest part of the shallow end, the nearest ladder, the nearest wall. You wanna get them to a position where they can grab onto something that's not you or the rescue tube so that they can exit the pool. Now, after you do this and you and the victim are out of the water, that's obviously the hard part done. Make sure that they're breathing okay. Do like a little secondary check, make sure everything's all right, and you don't have to call 911 because sometimes they had a condition and you need to involve 911. But if it was just someone who's struggling in the water and they couldn't stand, then it's a different story. Then you want to fill out an incident report, start to ask them very casual questions once they've finally caught their breath and they're not in a state of shock. Get some information from them, whatever your facility requires. And then once you submit the incident report, your job is finished and it's back to normal duty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. This is the basics to saving an active drowning victim as a lifeguard. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel to support the channel, or if you enjoyed this video and you are an active viewer, much appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Peace out.